This week we covered learning. Your textbook covered famous people like Watson with classical conditioning in dogs, Skinner with the Skinner box, and then of course you watched the video on Albert Bandura. So this is a controversy that's been around for a long time in terms of what is a part of the issue with a lot of the violence and aggression within our society. After Columbine, there were calls for to end particular death metal music. Marilyn Manson was an artist who was particularly targeted. Now, I personally don't like Marilyn Manson, but I've watched a couple interviews with him after Columbine. He's actually really, really smart. You know, he made a comment about comparing him to other people in our society. If you know, for example, he mentions Bill Clinton and some of the bombings that were happening at that time, and yet nobody necessarily points fingers at our politicians and our CEOs and leaders who are making maybe decisions that are similar in societal impact. So I highly encourage you to look up some information about what happened after Columbine and the look at video games and music. And, you know, even though the Albert Bandura research would suggest that these things have a significant impact, the research isn't necessarily all there yet. I believe that we just need more research. But again, check out some of the things that happened after Columbine. But we do know that kids mimic what they see, and they mimic what they see most at home. It's not uncommon for me to go into a home and work with a family where I know domestic violence exists, and I often see children who handle situations through aggression. If you remember, children learn how to handle their emotions appropriately through co-regulation of the adults around them. And if the adults can't regulate their emotions, children don't learn how to do that also. And then the last thing that we covered this week was getting started on your research paper. You all have some really great ideas. It sounds like you all have put together some great research options. You all should have access to the Finlandia library, even if it's through interlibrary loan if you're not nearby, but they do have some databases for journals and other things if you are finding that you need some additional resources. And then the last thing that I'm going to say about learning is I did link an extra credit video. Even if you're not going to do the extra credit, I highly encourage you to watch the video. It's about 6 to 7 minutes long. It's called The Backwards Brain. It is about a bicycle that is engineered to move differently than we are all taught. The handles, everything is backwards basically. And so the role in your brain in learning how to unlearn riding the bike the way you know it and learn how to ride it backwards. I hope that you guys find these examples helpful, and if I find that Marilyn Manson clip, I will also put it up as an extra credit. But again, even if you choose not to do extra credit things, if a video is short, please watch it. It will be informative. Have a great week. Hope we don't get too much